Hey there, Mike from the Film Lab on thesubstream.com or wherever else on the internet you happen to be watching this video. Today we want to talk about one of the absolute fundamental bedrock concepts in cinematography, and that's the relative hardness and softness of light. Now don't stop this video, don't click that little button down there, bear with me. It may sound nebulous and hard to grasp, and that's because a lot of the concepts in cinematography and the subjective perception of light are nebulous and hard to grasp, but this one isn't. This one's really simple. When people talk about hard or soft light, what they're really talking about, they're not talking about light versus dark, bright versus not bright. They're talking about one thing, and that's the relative crispness of shadows. Come here, over here. Let's look at this thing. Okay, so here we have a dude who's walking through an endless white void, an expanse of nothingness, and we're God deciding how he's going to be lit. Right now, he's lit by our studio lights. Let's turn them off and see some other sources. We decide we want to light him with a naked Lowell Omnilight. It creates a relatively distinct, hard-edged shadow, both on the ground and on the actual dude himself. Let's try a diffused Omnilight. The shadow is a little fuzzier, both on the ground and on the dude himself. Now we'll try a KinoFlow 4x bank. Yeah, his shadow is pretty much non-existent whatsoever over here, and the light on the actual figure seems much softer. Hard versus soft. Now, some of those lights were brighter than others, but that's not what caused them to have hard or soft shadows. What that is to do with is the size of the light source. Seriously, the physical dimensions of the thing producing the light matter when it comes to hard or soft light. And that's because big sources like this Kino light have a bunch of different angles, like the top or the bottom, or even the middle, from which light nuggets. What is it?
Photons.
Photons can come from. They come from up there, they come from down there, which means that some of them actually wrap around the edge of the subject, which is what makes the shadow fuzzier when you're using big, soft sources. So picture yourself on like a sunny day. Clear sky, hot sun above, look down at the sidewalk. Distinct, hard-edged shadow. That's because you're being lit by one relatively small source. Like, I know the sun is like a gabillion miles across, but in the sky, it's actually relatively small. If you imagine yourself on the same sidewalk during an overcast day when the sky is completely covered by clouds, you'll imagine that there's no shadow underneath you at all. That's because you're being lit by a huge source. The entire sky is lighting you. Light's coming from over there, over there, over there, over there, bouncing off the ground and completely obliterating your shadow. It's a much softer source. So what, though? What does this actually matter? Well, here's the thing. Hard light makes people look nasty.
No!
Seriously, a hard light can actually highlight imperfections in the skin by making little zits and pimples cast shadows, like pictures that are taken on the surface of the moon. Wrinkles show up where there's not even really actually wrinkles. And it makes the people that you're taking pictures of look all messed up, which is a bad thing. For years, cinematographers have been trying to figure out how to make softer and softer and softer sources to flatter the people that they're taking pictures of, because everybody knows people like to look at good-looking people. So check back next week when we're going to be talking about one of the coolest, big, soft light sources that's really fun to use. It's a cool piece of filmmaking equipment, and that's the Kino light. Check back then. See you soon.